Hey Whoop Swingers, welcome back to another Marvel Legends review. Today we have in Peter Parker in the black suit or symbiote suit from Spider-Man 2. This is in their Gamerverse line of Marvel Legends for the video game that released almost 2 years ago now. Take a look at Spider-Man from the video game here. We take a look at the back, and this was the loading screen that's actually in the video game where you get to pick your respective Spider-Man suit and kind of go through and customize them with the customizations that they have. Take another look at the box here. I'm really glad we went back to these window packaging because I did not like the initial releases for Spider-Man for Peter Parker and Miles Morales because they were closed. Let's go ahead and open this box up and take Spider-Man out. I'm going to open from the underside of the box. Do you guys normally care which side you open from? Maybe if you're saving the box. Has anyone actually read what this paper says? I have not, and I can't say that I will today. Let's go ahead and pull Spider-Man out of the box. And just a first impression look at this little display that we have here. This white symbol took a while to grow on me when the first game came out a few years ago, but overall, I love it. It's grown on me, definitely has. Let's look at Spider-Man, and wow. Okay, this is cool to have in hand. We saw those promo pics come out a few months ago. Take a look at the accessories that he comes with, the multiple hands. And yeah, let's open this. Hasbro showed off this wave about 2 months ago with some promotional images of what we'd be getting, and I knew instantly that I'd be picking up this wave and was probably most excited for this black suit, symbiote suit from the video game, and to have it in hand now is a pretty amazing feeling. Take a look here at the spider symbol, and this looks pretty good. The paint applications look pretty good. If you played the game, you may or may not like this take of the suit. Personally, myself, I do like it. Let's take a look at the first accessory we have here, and this is a web line / symbiote tendril line. Looks pretty cool. I'm excited to see how I'm going to be able to use it. Looks like we have a little hook here to be able to hook into Spider-Man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second pair of hands that we get, which are the thwip hands, and these are absolutely important for any and every Spider-Man figure. It needs to have not one, but both thwip hands. Now, the third pair of hands, I guess we'll call them wall-crawling hands, maybe? Anybody else have another name for them? But very cool to have and important to have both of these as well. So it is a minor thing and should be done on all releases, but I guess shout out to Hasbro for giving us multiple pair of hands that actually have a pair with them. Now we have Spider-Man out of the box, and we're going to take a look at the alien symbiote that he is made out of. Take a look at the figure here, and the white symbol really does pop on the figure. They did a really good job of painting mine in particular. So if you have played Spider-Man 2, you know while playing that the symbiote suit is a living organism, and you could actually kind of see it move throughout on the suit as you're playing as Peter Parker in the game. It is a pretty cool effect that Insomniac did while playing, and Hasbro tried to recreate that by doing some sculpting here on the arms and on the legs here. You can see that here, and that is kind of the living symbiote itself as it's kind of moving throughout. Let's see the head sculpt up close, and these eyes look pretty cool. There's a little bit of texture on the head sculpt itself. Eyes are painted really well, no complaints there, no discoloring or anything like that, spots missing or blotches. Take a look at the symbol on the back. Symbol is pretty clean. You see a little bit of splotch in there on the ends, probably not even the right word, but point to it right there. But looks really good overall. No major complaints on any of the paint apps on any of this. Time for the fun part. Let's see the articulation on this guy. All right, let's see the head move goes down about this much here. See a side profile of Spidey. Have the arms move up. Let's move up this other one here. Bend in, see the double jointed elbow that he has. Let's see this on the other side. Kind of makes it look like I'm making him do a little cheer. Sorry, Spidey. Big downfall is there are no butterfly joints on this figure, and it's tough to see a Spider-Man figure without butterfly joints because it just limits the range of posability on the figure. So that itself is a major bummer and my biggest complaint about this figure so far. Next, let's take a look at the ab crunch, or maybe the non-existent ab crunch. Poor Spidey. Definitely want to have the most range of posability, but this one is a bit limited here on the ab crunch, and not sure why I have Spidey in this pose with his chest pumped out so much, but let's see how much articulation we have here on the legs. And we always do have that thigh swivel on both of the legs here. Take a look at some of the details that we have here on the legs and see the double jointed knees that we have. Make sure that guy bends. And this one is pretty smooth bend. Let's test and see what the other leg looks like. Also pretty similar. If only I was able to stretch this good. Good range of motion on Spidey. And yeah, this is what he looks like in a basic museum pose. They would not want to be a criminal and see this guy standing like this on any New York City rooftop. That'd be very intimidating, especially during the nighttime. I did mention the extra pair of hands that Hasbro gave us on this figure release, so let's go ahead and make sure to see what those look like by putting in the wall crawling hands. I really like how easy it's been to pop in and pop out these different hand accessories that we have, which makes it a lot of fun and easy to swap out and try new poses with them. Now that we have those hands swapped out, just a quick recreation of the Secret Wars pose. I'm sure it's not the best, but just trying to do it real quick from memory, so we get to see what these hands look like, and they're a neat welcome addition. I wanted to see the widest stance Spider-Man was able to pull off, and this would be the look I would have on my face if I were to attempt this, because there's no way in heck I would try to do this. Not a spider, can't do what a spider can. I always think that it's super impressive that Spider-Man is able to hold up his own weight, and he's actually able to hold himself up doing a headstand. His head actually is not on the desk here, and he is only being held up by his hands and those wall-crawling hands. Quickly swap out those wall-crawling hands for the thwip hands, because the thwip hands are important for any Spider-Man figure, and it's always fun to throw up thwips with these hands. Next, you can watch me try to use these thwip hands to create a cool thwip pose with the web effect that we have here. A little bit of a struggle, maybe I'm not using it right. If anyone wants to let me know how I should probably use it or the best way to use it, I would definitely appreciate it. Was trying to have a little bit of fun with it, but ultimately seems like the weight of it is a little bit too much to be able to have out. So just trying to use my hand to extend the piece into the camera lens to see what it looks like, but ultimately kind of just plops there. So let's see if I could readjust Spidey, adjust his head here. I think this looks pretty cool overall. If only I were able to get this to actually hold up somehow, I think that this would be a pretty cool pose. I picked up a display stand, which I didn't have for my first Marvel Legends review, and I'm actually pretty happy with this one. Wanted to do a pose of Spider-Man hanging from a web and liked how this actually turned out. Pose could probably be better and hopefully will be in the future, but here is a side profile of that view and what it looks like using the web effect. Take a look at it over here. Stand is pretty cool. I'm happy with it. Just another view panning from the bottom up. I think I did a little bit better job posing this time around. Very cool, like the way that it came out. Definitely will be using this display stand in the future for other reviews and just for display in general. Of course, we have to have Spidey in his signature thwip pose, and we'll put both of those thwip hands here and do a double thwip. I like how this display stand is able to hold him and actually is pretty sturdy. Holds up pretty well. I tried to take some inspiration from Hasbro's promotional photos when they originally showed this figure of him in a web swinging pose and just trying to get this right and adjust his body a little bit better. And it was kind of something like this, but I got to figure out a way to make this web effect stand out a little bit better. Maybe find something to hold it up if I were to actually put it on display with it as such. But I think this looks pretty cool. Again, I'm kind of just holding this web effect piece here off camera, and if any of you have any ideas on how I could actually hold it up a little bit better or how to display it a little bit better, I am all for it. Would love some help and input that you long-standing Legends collectors have. Appreciate it and would love to get better at doing some poses. This is the pose that I kind of see when Spider-Man is gliding across that New York water. He can swim, but he can also glide over it before you web zip, which is pretty fun. So speaking of web, let's add this web effect in here and see if we can make this hold. If you have any other ideas of how I could use it properly, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, actually, let's try putting the thwip hand in here and see what that looks like. Curious to see. Okay, so this definitely does have some potential, but I need to figure out how I can maximize it. Ultimately, I'm just holding this piece up here against the camera lens here to make it seem like Spider-Man is shooting a web at the camera, but if I could figure out a way how to utilize this web effect piece better, it'd be so cool. All right, I want to do a quick side-by-side comparison of Black Suit, Symbiote Suit, Spider-Man with another Spider-Man in the Gamerverse line. You may be able to guess which one it is. Let's move Spider-Man to the side to make room for Spider-Man. This is the Advanced Suit 2.0 from the Spider-Man 2 video game, which in itself is a bit of a letdown. You can see that they are different bodies here. Look at the quads on Spider-Man here. Oh my gosh, this guy is actually kind of hard to pose. So I think my figure actually just is a little bit loose here in the foot area, but I'm just going to hold him here just for the time's sake and put Spider-Man up together side by side. So like I said, you could tell that they are definitely two different body molds that they use for him. The Advanced Suit could have used much better colors and painting scheme to actually match his in-game character. One of my favorite suits, but was definitely let down by this figure. May do a review of it itself to talk about it, but just wanted to show what they look like side by side since they are supposed to be the same Spider-Man from the same game. Interesting choice to use the different bodies. I know they have different sculpt on our Spider-Man symbiote suit, but just wanted to show what they look like together. If you've played the video game before, this flip hand kind of reminds me of photo mode when you're able to take selfies as Spider-Man. Would have been cool if I had a little cell phone accessory to kind of recreate that photo mode. I'll have to try to remember that as I take more videos and reviews of the other Gamerverse Spider-Man figures. And let's just put Spider-Man in a quick flip pose and see what it looks like from the other side. Very simple, very effective. I usually like to stand Spider-Man up on one foot like this to test his balance, and he does pass the balance test. Next, we'll try my hand again at another superhero landing pose with this figure. Take a look at it here. I think I did a little bit better than my first time. Turn it around and see a little bit more of this side view. Now, of course, this definitely does depend on the flexibility and the posability of each figure, but I think it's a good work in progress for me. Was trying to go for a free fall sort of display here on the display stand, but it kind of just looks like the same Secret Wars pose I had him in a little bit ago. But hey, he's on the display stand, so he is free falling in the sky. Next, I wanted to show our Spider-Man doing some web slinging here, or web swinging. So let's see what he looks like. And hey, actually, let's go ahead and try to use that effect piece the best that we can. And of course, I'm holding it off camera because I haven't figured out how to best balance it yet. But let's go ahead and throw it here on the other arm and see what that looks like. Overall, I think that looks pretty cool. Got to figure out a way to display it better. Unfortunately, these guys do not have pointer fingers to recreate the meme, but thought we could with the thwip hands. Let's have another Spider-Man comparison, and this one is a symbiote comparison because this is the Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and the figure that just released actually a couple weeks ago. Wanted to show what these look like side by side. You get to see the different take on a symbiote character. Take a look at them and what's going on here. All right. Whoa, did they just become symbiote bros? They totally did. Cool figures. The Spider-Man 3 Marvel Legends does come with a cool symbiote effect piece, and wanted to pop that onto our Spider-Man here to see what it looks like. And this looks pretty cool. I wouldn't mind having this on display with this effect piece because it is a pretty cool representation of the symbiote taking over Peter. And let's see, we'll move the head here and see what that looks like. Yeah, this is pretty cool. What do you guys think? Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind having it like this. I'm sure a lot of you were just as curious as me to see if this Tobey Maguire head sculpt would fit on our figure here. And while it doesn't necessarily lock into place. The neck does look a little bit elongated, but if you're able to pose it a certain way, it definitely wouldn't look too bad if you wanted to do that. Final thoughts on this figure is I think Hasbro overall did a really good job of executing this figure. It would have been better if we had butterfly joints because all Spider-Man need butterfly joints on their figure. But overall, I'm really happy with the sculpt, and I would give this figure 2 whips up and recommend it to any Spider-Man collector and any fan of the Spider-Man 2 game. If you're a big Spider-Man fan like me, there's always something new, cool, and exciting to come out, and there'll be plenty more reviews to come in the future. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover in my reviews, please let me know, and hope to see you in the next one. Ooh. Sorry, Spidey. Spider-Man was not hurt in the filming of this review. I hope.